well behaved dog. Hey. They said it would take more than one truck to fill this, I guess. Boy, that's looking pretty bad. Just walking by. And right there. I'm just looking at the way this is designed, and they put all these rocks here, but you can see where people just keep tearing out in here. You know, it's funny, I walk around like this and I see people backing up and getting out of intersections and getting off the crosswalk and stopping. And I was like, do I look that official to you? I was like, what enforcement agency would have a guy walking around looking this dorky? Come on now. And that's when they start saying, well, y'all look like dorks to us, so, you know, you just look like King Dork. I was like, oh, thank you. Why not? I'm headed that way. I can just go in here. Try not to get hit. wonder why they don't have any toppers on this. Oh, somebody ripped it off, I guess. Telling the folks back home, yes, we made it. We're okay. Hey, you gotta go, right? Howdy. Is that new?
Northwest Highway at Webb,
Yeah, walk auditing, you know, everything. Gotta go. Man. Oy, oy, oy. It's always something. Leave it be, maybe they'll come back for it. Okay. I got a feeling that this will not be, at least I'll be getting here when the lights are always on. Maybe he was playing Pokemon Go. He's about the right age demographic for that. All right. Get some daytime footage of this. I like this. Like I said, it's a cool tag. Better than the shit they usually have up there. Just do them a favor. Come undone. Come undone. It works, I just wonder why it's turning that direction. All right, let's begin. Bachman Lake Walk Audit 2026-04-07. Today's the 8th. Yep, today's the 8th. Park light out next to BLT 113. It is 113, right? I took the damn picture and I can't. 103. Okay, I'll change that. Done. Okay. All right. There's my boy hanging out at the shelter house. He's here pretty much all day. I mean, like I said, I see him here during the night. Yeah, it's time to turn on the lights. Bachman Lake Walk Audit 2026-04-08. Map of different things going on at Bachman Lake. Park light out next to BLT 101. They replaced this one with an LED. Perdón, ¿me permiso? Pedal assist. Light out next to BLT 134. Pretty sure that's which one it is. Guess we're gonna find out real quick. Oh, I was wrong. It's 133. Okay. Okay, just turn it off on me. Yeah, you know, whatever. Alright, so we'll edit that. Howdy. Okay, there we go. It's like, hey, come on now. Wake up, G-board. Now they're gonna take that and they're gonna look and they're gonna say, oh, you meant... I was like, dude, you can look and you can see that there's a light out over here. But they'll think it's the one right next to 133. Erosion control issue next to BLT 132. Alright, the photo bombers, hurry up and get the fuck out of my shot.
Ella los trae, yo te dije que estaba ahí, cortamos.
Just taking pictures of the dirt and not getting the lighting right. Guess I got the marker right. Shit, I forgot to save the project. I mean, whatever it is. They want to double check, triple check, quadruple check. Make sure you got it right. Done. Go back. There we go. Alright, did they ever fix it? Yes, they did. Alright, cool. I didn't fix that one. You know what? Let them figure it out. Now let's go do it. There are a lot of assholes here. Okay. Light out in parking lot next to BLT 132. Bachman and Ovelia. Bella, Via. Why is this acting like this? Okay, so now I can't, it's doing this thing where it, I don't know, it's fucking stupid. There we go. thank you. A lot of assholes driving down here. I never realized it before. It goes off and on. Light in the parking lot next to the southwest corner of the intersection of Bachman Drive and Ovea. Light keeps going on and off. It's the light with the Flox camera system attached to it, period. See, you can't understand a word I'm telling you. Somehow my accent's so bad it didn't hear walk audit, it heard hawk audit. I was like, yes, I'm auditing the hawks. Those birds aren't paying their fair share in taxes. Well, it was a nice day. Of course, there'd be a lot of people here. Lights out too. Oh, that guy over there was already spooked out. Hey.
The lights here are not good. Report it to the city. You make the videos.
Yeah.
The lights in here, they're not good.
Yeah, I know.
Too dark.
Yeah, they got to get LED lights, but that, you know, budget. Let's see, I'm making excuses for them. He's right though. What do you think about a septet assessment? Would you have your kids out here? This is too dark. Why aren't there more lights over here? By the park. I guess we could point that out. I was more concerned with the issues that are that can be fixed, not the issues that should be added. Not enough lighting next to BLT 130. Turn off my lights to kind of really bring that home. Of course, I would have to say that. Like I said, I got a camera that's too good at filming in the dark. All right. Oh, well, there's a reason why there's not enough lighting over here. Let's change that. Okay. Park light out next to BLT 130. Is it 130? Do they have lights in the pavilion? Nope, no lighting in the pavilion. Club donated this. You know what? Let's add that as the marker. These damn bugs. I get that. Like I said, they can't help themselves. They're attracted to my light, but it's still annoying. Not enough lighting in the playground area where the Rotary Club next to BLT 130. Oh, there's another way to get there. You got 2 or 3 walk paths and you still walk through the grass. Dumbasses. What, phone crash? What's going on here? guess there was a parking lot over there, just never noticed it before. Alright. Oh, my. I guess it's playing. I imagine the lights over here are just fine. Be funny. The thing's not even a week old. Already the lights are broken. Okay, well, I was joking, but I guess we really do have an issue where there's a light out over here. They just opened this damn thing up, which means it was probably out. All right. Looks like I'll be getting back home at 10 o'clock again. Come on, GPS, lock on. I already did. Okay. Park light out next to BLT 129. Alright, well, I guess I'll be changing that to 130. Boy, this is well lit. That's the boathouse. The pool. Right. So here's me coming out here at 2040, but you get me coming out here, like I said, I was out here almost midnight and you couldn't see any of this going on. Oh, wow. Kind of adds a personal touch, you know? Yeah, the first rainstorm, it'll go away. This really has become somebody's third space. Am I angry? Nah, it's chalk. I get angry when it's like something permanent, like somebody puts a spray paint or something. I was like, dude, this isn't even 2 weeks old. There's no lights on that path, and I guess they're going to build something for the boat people over in this area. There's a concrete path. I pointed it out last week. It takes you right over to this gate, and the gate's locked. Any place where you can walk into this skate park, it's locked. It's the stupidest thing. You can drive in there all day long. The gate was supposed to close at a certain point, and it still stays open. Pointed that out multiple times. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Come back here and get some daytime footage, but it's so well lit that you don't need it. I'm gonna have to come up here with my 360 camera. That's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna get some day footage and night footage. There was a guy that was asking for it, but now, man, this is awesome. Now I see what the people were talking about when you got good, like I said, good design. Well lit, looking clean. But for how long? Okay, so that's confusing because now there are two BLT 129s. There's a 129 over. Wait, was that 130? That was 130. How that? This is 129. They put it in a different font. The cleaner font for people who, you know, have vision problems. You can see any of this from the camera. I'd understand if you couldn't. That's the thing, man. Sometimes I think I'm zooming in automatically, but the camera just it's sitting there and all it sees is the fence and a big blur of light. Like from here I can see they did such a good job clearing it out. I can see all the way down to the gas station over the racetrack. See the price on the thing dropped down to $3.34 a gallon. They cleared all that out. See, that over there used to be, like I said, this is one time I came back here and I looked, and they had guys were sitting there that had a campfire over here. And once again, that was the aluminum scrap yard, or not aluminum but metal. The guy had a recycled scrap yard over here, so there might be lead. I don't know. Maybe they trimmed all of this. I think they didn't trim that part. Hey. It looks so placid. Yeah, I brought the wrong darn camera. I need to come over here and get some 360 night footage. No, I'll probably get it next week. Yeah, I was gonna, like I said, I'll get that during the day. I was pointing out last week how they changed the way the levee looks. It used to be a lot steeper than this. And yeah, it looks like people will still be walking on the grass part here. I don't see that guy with a pooper scooper or a bag. Yeah, I'm gonna get some day footage. Saw a lot of cell phones, but didn't see any poop bags. Why is that a big deal? Well, someone was telling me that if the dog poops and the other dogs come in there and the dog's got a certain disease, that dog can catch the disease from the poop. That's why you can't have everybody's dog just coming out and pooping everywhere. No, it's still dark over here. So, but yeah, get some daytime footage. I was over somewhere and there's a light. Okay, there, that light is on. There's some kind of gate over here, a spill gate. Anyway, come down here and might be crawdads. Yeah, they planted all this. Why do I know they planted it? Because it's all perfectly vertical. Like, none of it's leaning in any way. It's just all... What is this? I couldn't begin to tell you. Looks healthy so far. But yeah, they put a thing here and then they planted all this over here, and this is gonna form up and be a barrier. Huh. Oh, that hill. Let me try running up it. Back down there, then you come back up. Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a run for somebody. Man, like I said, I wish I was still doing hill training, but those days are over. I've been breathing hard for a while. Out of shape, probably. Hey. Nah, my first impressions coming out here is pearls before swine. And what is that? So if you're a birder, what kind of bird is that? Too bad you... He's like, hey man, what kind of bird are you? That's a heron. That's a heron. Baby heron. So he'll be heading over that way to the greenbelt. All right, so they got a light over here. Man, probably won't have to report any lights here for, let's give it a month. I hate to be that pessimistic, but I mean, in about another month, I think one of these will go out. Another month, you might see some graffiti. Some people just don't like nice things. So there used to be kind of a little pathway off the beaten path. You know it. No signage that says, hey, keep off the grass here. Man, this is a good place for a street fight. Like, who thinks like that? I'm just like saying, you know, you're like, you see Street Fighter, this would be the place. Round one, fight. And they'd be over there, pop, 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 and the people would be looking over the thing, and then there'd be like a crowd of folks starting to gather. Also, yes, another indicator of septed. They put fences and they said, these are the areas we don't want you to come to. Sturdy fence, attitude adjusters on the top. That baby heron's still following me around. Now here's my problem. I don't think that goes all the way around, does it? Yeah, it does. Okay, good. I was like, man, that's stupid. So the gate stops right there. They got their measurement tools right here. And yeah, the railroad tracks. So they still got the tracks here and they're still viable. It's just that now they've got an automated gate. My guess is it uses a what do they call that thing? A rail. It's the thing that, you know, the wagon that you push up and down and it moves up and down. No, I was just thinking about something I saw in a bike video one time where they said here's this abandoned rail, and these guys went on the abandoned. It was supposed to go like for 500 miles, and these guys got bikes and they put special wheels on them that would attach to the track, and they just the whole time they were pedaling down that thing, and they got a lot of it on video. Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it. I was like, man, I wish I could do something like that. You can tell all these guys were retirees. They had the free time and the money to do that kind of thing. And it sucks that you gotta wait until you're old, so your skeleton and everything's all used up before you can do stuff like that. And like, you don't have to, you can do this, that, and the other. I was like, yeah, I can live out of my car, wandering the United States, taking videos and putting them up on YouTube. And there's a guy who does that. He says living out of his car for a year. What kind of country, man? And then you read stories about cowboys And everybody tries to romanticize cowboys, and you try to have, you know, cowboy movies, but in the reality, a cowboy was a low wage. It was a shit job. It was a shit job. It was necessary for, you know, people to get beef and get the beef cheap, but the guys weren't getting paid hardly anything. They were working someone else's land instead of their own. A lot of cowboys were black. That's why the term cowboy, I didn't know there was a derogatory term. I was like, what? And I said, yeah, the other term is cowhand. They called them boys because, you know, they were black. So, racism. Low pay, degrading work. So you get to sleep out under the stars because you're broke and can't afford a hotel room. Riding on the open range, I was like, yeah, and anytime you could get snake bit, you can die of thirst or heat exposure. For you, it's some romantic recollection. For them, it was survival. No, it was nice to get a break from checking out everything and just do kind of a walk audit of what's going on over there. Do we still call this in? Anyway. Alright. It's my magnetic attachment. No, I said they're changing out the battery, and all of a sudden these dudes come by doing Fast and Furious. These junky ass trucks. And I was like, of course. It's like they wait and it's like, oh shit, he's got his camera going. Let's go ahead and, I mean, I got it on the backup camera, don't get me wrong. It's just, it would have been nice for people to see the hot rod bullshit that happens around here. Overgrown vegetation over sidewalk and bridge on Denton northbound, just after the railroad tracks by Bachman Lake. That's too much. Anyway, Pixar didn't happen. Give them some markers. I just realized there's no light out here. Oh, there is one. There we go. vegetation growing over the bridge across the spillway, the Bachman branch spillway on northbound Denton, just after the railroad tracks and just after the transformer station, across the street from the DART transit station, period. And I'll make sense of that word salad some other day. Oops. The important thing is that we're getting the marker to tell us, hey, it's here. It's still sidewalk, man. People will still walk back and forth through here. So let's give them a nice pathway. But yeah, I just don't get it. I gave the guy for the city GPS coordinates, and he still went to the wrong location. Why? Because apparently there are 3 locations with the same address that the city owns. They didn't think enough to say, let's go ahead and change the address. No. This is if I could do it, it would take me a couple months to clean it all out. This would take, like I said, this is just one weekend with the crew. How does it all get down there? Well, maybe some people are tossing it over the bridge. At one point there might have been a walk path that everybody could go through there. Looks like it's just grassland now. Yep, see right. So yeah, the canopy, it's a nice canopy they have over here, and then they just kind of snake through here. That is, okay, I think those are lantern canisters. Yeah, I think that's what that is. That's that. I thought there was something to drink out of. No, that is. Those are Coleman lantern canisters. You put those on like burners and like different types of lanterns, and it provides you gas. Don't know if they're empty or not. They probably could explode. I don't think they'll cause that much damage, but you know, I've been wrong before, so. When I say I don't think, bad things happen. I think I'm gonna go down there and take a look. Sure, I'll probably piss someone off, but that's just my nature. That looks like a metal bar and a testing the horn. I can tell you, buddy, it works. All right, now begins the fun part. Yeah, it looks like they cleaned out some of it. They took the post off of a, looks like a parking lot or something. All right. And there's a fire pit. Okay. Wine bottle. Oh. I go in there, I'll get tangled like a ram. Anyway, back that way, looks like there's something else. Okay. Oh. Yep, I was correct in my assessment. These are Coleman all-purpose. Oh, what are they? Yeah, they're propane. It's propane tanks. It's tapped out. Man. Okay. Whew. And I got a shopping cart back here. Yeah, they kind of had a canopy. And there's wood for a fire. Okay. Oh, kind of exhilarating. Oh. All right. Man, couldn't get through there if I had my 3D camera on. Man. They probably took their sweet time and cleared out a little path here, and it's a nice little area. Just wish there wasn't so much trash. No, I don't need to put any more. Like I said, I got a ticket. I got a Jeep. Oh wait, actually I don't have the GPS coordinates here. You know what? Let's go ahead and fix, or it didn't happen, right? All right, at the very least we can put a marker here. Former homeless encampment and trash and litter spot along with graffiti. Former homeless encampment by Denton. Bridge. Because here's the thing, I'm never going to, they're never going to watch the video. So I got to go through this again. I can take all the pictures I want. I don't think there's a limit to how many pictures you can put on the. Oh. Some dedicated few will see my video and they're like, oh shit, they had that going on. I was like, yeah, they did. Oh, right, the fire pit. And then they had a hammock over here. I keep thinking that when the aliens land, the one thing they'll always find a lot of is penises drawn on walls. We keep finding this symbol over and over again. It must have been very important to them. Will they draw a conclusion that say it was a crude representation of our genitalia? Don't know. And I can't tell if, like I said, some of the stuff over here was someone genuinely trying to form a connection. No, I'm taking all these pictures, and there's the one thing I'm not taking a picture of is the daggum propane tanks. All right, done. Oh, perfect, perfect, baby, perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Like I said, I can go through and edit it all later. Oh, 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 God. Okay. And this is when I get hit with the machine gun fire. Good ambush point. You gonna get some 3D footage of that? Sure. For sure. But first, I'm not done being a nosy bitch. Okay, and I can get some daytime footage of this too. Just an open field. And they're planting trees and whatnot. I have no idea what all this is. All I know is they knocked something down. Well, this might have been privet. Oh, that tree's marked for. So I guess that's what it means. Orange means go, knockout. Yeah, who knows? They might have big plans for all this. Okay, well, it's soft. Oh, and that's when I got bit. That's how all these stories start. That's how I got bit. I'm sure some of you herpetologists can tell me, or whoever. What's the name of the guys who monitor herpetologists are like dry land reptiles, and then there's another one for amphibians. Well, it might just be herpetologists for all of them. I mean, they're the wet soggy reptiles and the dry bony reptiles. Well, it looks neat. Why do you hear whoops and all that? I realize now it's the skate park that's doing all of that. This is why you put on the mosquito repellent. Now, you think to yourself, aren't they worried about mosquitoes? It's like, no, everything in there eats the larva. It's probably why they planted certain things the way they did, like a natural, something that would naturally get rid of the keep the mosquito cow population at bay. Plus, this looks like a prime spot for letting loose the what do you call them things, the the genetically modified males, they go out and they impregnate the females, and the females become sterile. On a quest to eradicate the mosquito. My biggest worry is that they do that and it turns out mosquitoes are useful in some way. What would you suggest? I wonder if there's a way to target the malaria parasite itself. Alter the anatomy of the mosquito just enough to where it doesn't become a good host for the parasite. It becomes a terrible host. But they probably would adapt to that too. Was that poison ivy? No. Well, no, there's no sign saying no, don't trespass. It's just would this be a nice place to camp out? No. No, it's just crazy to me that there's this one little like nexus where it's, you know, you can see the border between nature and, you know, mankind. Like I said, right across there you can hear the city noise, but then over here you can hear nature's noise. Well, if I wasn't talking, you could. That's crazy. This is just opened up. So my question is, how long is it going to be before you're going to see guys out here playing soccer? What's to stop somebody from camping out over here? So yeah, you want to talk about septid? This actually looks like it's a remnant of when they had the scrap yard here. Razor wire, barbed wire. Environmental air quality monitor. Yeah, this is left over from someone's chopped up the signs. Oh, it says no parking allowed. I don't know, it's interesting, whatever it is. So they just made it easier to get into the homeless encampment is what they did. If it's still there. Okay. This has been quite an eye-opener. So what's the point? The only thing I can see that makes logical sense is maybe they're going to turn that into a dog park. Because that's the one thing that Bachman doesn't have. It doesn't have a, just like White Rock has that. You go down to White Rock and they got a whole thing that's caged off, and They got the pooper scoopers, and the pets can get around there and sniff each other, and it's just a straight up dog park. But Bachman doesn't have that. Bachman has the room for it, but it just doesn't have, no one has ever set up anything like that. Is this a good place for a dog park? Yes, actually. Because there's the Bachman train station right there, and I don't know, you get in your apartment, you drive down, you ride down here on the rail, you can walk all the way over here. It's less than a mile. It's about a quarter of a mile. And you're right there, dog park. That might be what they're doing. That makes sense. Which makes me think that it's not going to happen. If it makes sense, Dallas is not going to do it. It's just, that's the general rule. No, I got enough skate park footage. Plus, like I said, the only reason I don't like going there all the time is I don't want to come off as creepy Uncle Touchy, you know? I want to stay in my weird uncle persona. It's okay if I'm weird. It's another thing if I'm creepy. So this makes no goddamn sense. Lock this part. It shows laziness. It shows that that's the problem with Dallas. Half-assed. There's every bit of Dallas half-assed. That's what's aggravating about the cities. You know that they could do the right thing, but they just kind of lurch toward the right thing. They don't. We'll do the right thing because it looks good, not because it is good. Doing the right thing to be image conscious. And I don't know who's in charge of that. Well, they got a lot of people here. Man, I really don't want to. I'm doing this for the guy who's stationed somewhere, who grew up here, and you wanted to see what's going on in the neighborhood. Well, this is what's going on. Mainly though, I'm going over here because there's this, yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock. Wow, already. We added some touch, some flair. Nice. You know, it shows community ownership. I know, you think, oh, it's graffiti and I was like, I get it, Dad, but you just put a little bit of the gooby gone, strip that right off. There's a dumpster back here. Oh, it looks like a bus stop. What is that? Oh, it's a porta potty. I don't know if you remember this. I'm scared to go in there. All right, so we got graffiti. It definitely smells like a restroom. All right, well, is that VC's? Probably. No, that's, I don't know. It's like somebody tried to burn something in here. Anyway, barely good enough to do number one in. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about right here. That's one walk path, and they lock it up. The only guy that goes to the skate park and doesn't actually film the skate park. They're like, what organization are you with? Organization, man. Howdy. Oh, I just not noticed the little planter here. Well, those plants have seen better days. No, I just kind of came over here to illustrate a point. What are the police doing with that? Actually, it's not the police. What are private corporations doing with that flock camera information? Remember, your kids are over here. They're taking pictures of your kids. They're sending pictures of your kids to unknown parties. That will make some parents angry. That will make some people angry. You have no idea. Well, it's just like me, though, I guess. But I'm taking the pictures and I'm putting it on the internet, or putting it on the YouTube. You want me to take it down? I'll take it down, or I'll edit out your loved one. Looking at me like, hey, he's the cop. He's just making sure that everything's locked up. I was like, I'm not doing it. Hey, you know what? That is what it looks like, though. It looks like I'm getting ready to lock up the park. He's like, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to figure out the dumbassery of Dallas. Like I said, they got 3 spots where they look like they wanted to have pedestrians be able to come in and use the park freely. And then they keep them locked all the time. Over there, it looked like they were going to put up a pedestrian fence or entry point. And then they just didn't do it. Hey, what's up? Sorry. I like that hat. He's got an Ash Ketchum hat. What's the story behind that one? He won it in a tournament. Because when he first started, in Pokemon, I think he's had like 2 or 3 different hats. I stopped keeping up in like 2000. So I am now almost 30 years out of date. I started watching Pokemon because I was out of school, going to college. I said, what is this? And I look, and then I saw Jesse, and I said, oh shit. I said, I'm kind of interested. What's I watch TV shows for the wrong reasons. I thought Jesse from Team Rocket was hot, so I started watching the show. And then I just got intrigued by all, because it wasn't my first time seeing a game based on the four element, or based on the mystic elements: earth, wind, water, fire, and something, and whatever else you want to throw in there, iron, and all that good stuff. The Chinese zodiac elements. But it was the first time that I'd seen a cartoon based on it. I'd seen like games that had little figurines, and you could do all the different things, and you roll the dice, and then you have a battle, and depending on if your guy was like a water guy, he would go up against a fire guy, and the water guy would trounce the fire guy. Yeah, but they put that there. I was intrigued in how well the system worked. So that's why I kept watching Pokemon. And just like everyone else, I was just waiting. I was like, okay, so when's Pikachu gonna evolve? And I was like, he's not. So I was like, oh, okay. It's just, he's gonna be the world's best, most advanced Pikachu. I don't blame him. Pikachu teaches us to be comfortable in our own skin. To change for ourselves and not for anybody else. Man, that guy is spry. I couldn't do what he just did. I'd be up there. I'm not gonna even try it. I can slug myself up there probably. Just kind of. No, I've taken other videos. But yeah, this is a perfect illustration of, like, it's a nice night out here, man. I would not blame. That's why there's so many people out here. It was 77 degrees. It was 73 when I started. Oh, I guess I'll go this way. What makes me different from other people? I have somewhere to be and some things to do. There were some days when there was nothing going on, and I sat down there and I started talking to the guys who were skating over there. One guy was trying to witness to me. Felt quaint. Why the hell not? Faded no parking sign. Eastbound Webb Chapel Extension, just past Denton. by Bachman skate park. So I'm doing this, and then all of a sudden you see people slowing down as if like, were you doing something wrong? And a strange thing happened. That guy was parked over there and he was just kind of waiting for somebody, and then he sees me taking pictures over here, and so he started moving on. And it's just little stuff like that. Like, I pick up on it. It's just, I don't particularly care. So what do you put in for the address? You find out what the address is for the skate park, and you put that in. And then you put the GPS coordinates there and hope to hell that there's somebody competent reading the ticket. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, they got this thing like that right there is like blindingly bright. I don't know, something happened over there. I was like, they told them, it's like, look, man, you got to make this look like a place that skullduggery doesn't happen. And I was like, somebody might get murdered, but you'll see it from space. Ho, ho, ho. There's always something going on over here. That loser came in third. Hey, even the school bus is racing. You gotta love Dallas. Oh my God, there's another one. Created no parking sign next to Bachman Recreation Center on eastbound Webb Chapel Extension. He's on a okay, so he's on one of those bikes that they modify it and it goes the bottom line is he's on the e-bike that's probably 25 miles an hour, a little bit over that. He souped it up a little bit. No, somehow it heard where did, and I was like, I don't know where I said, when I ever said where did. What I said was faded. And you heard something that came out of somebody else's ass. I don't know. Having this well lit, I see a lot of stuff now. Yeah, they must have told these people in the apartments, it's like, you gotta do some, I gotta change some things. Why did I come this way? I wanted to see something. All right. Oh, cool, they stayed put. So if I go that way, yeah, it doesn't link up. Yeah, okay, they stayed put. Now these little concrete stops were in the walk path. And I thought they were anchored down, but I guess years ago, I don't know, they lost it. Years ago, they got cut out or something, or maybe they've just been bumped out. And there's a bolt. Not all of them have it. I'm sure there's a ticket that you open and say the facilities, and you're like, look, these concrete blocks need to be bolted down. Why not? We're going all out, right? This is an audit. Once again, I'm just putting a brief thing in here because I kind of don't care. But attention to detail and all. Oh shit, there's the address right there. Man, that's damn convenient. Concrete parking blocks not nailed down by Bachman Aquatic Center. I don't know what else to call them. I'll figure it out later. But believe it or not, they're supposed to have all. Oh, this side is completely missing them. Man, all right. The concrete stops on the parking spaces next to the Bachman and card because they're either missing or they're not nailed down at all and they're crooked. Public safety issue. Someone backing in to the parking spot or going into the parking spot could have run right into the trail. That's why he did it. He had to say it out loud and say, yeah, it was a public safety issue. And you see just little things that are kind of stupid, like this right here. Or maybe the wind did, no, the wind did not do this. Someone was actively, they were eating and drinking and they just didn't want to bother putting their trash in the can. There's their hairband. Okay, so what I really think happened was they opened the door of their car. They're a messy person and all their stuff started spilling out into the street and they just left it there. Trying to diagnose why stupid people do what they do. Okay. Will we ever see this pool open? If this pool ever opens, I will be here and I will take pictures. That's my guarantee. If this pool ever opens. So, as I'm kind of capturing this, what happened was, I guess the chlorine or something in here eroded away that with that sealing duct that you see up there, and it corroded, and then it just fell into the pool. And it damaged that, and it damaged the tile in the pool, and so they had to sit there and clean that out. It still looks like funky, but yeah, it has taken them 4 or 5 years, since the pandemic, 6 years to get this far. And they're still working on the, from what I understand, it was the plumbing, then it was the air conditioning system, and it's been a bunch of other things. And it's just every time you look, they have not opened this. And it pisses me off because my mom was using it for exercise to rehab from her surgery, or she wanted to, and oh, there's a guy sitting over there. She wanted to, and it wasn't open. So she just went over to the YMCA. Oh, there's a guy over there. Why is there a guy over there? I don't know. If you had authority. I mean, you kind of do have authority. You can go over there and ask him, hey, what's going on, man? Right on.
Right.
Oh, I love to see a well-lit man. It's almost as pretty as, I guess it's prettier than a sharp-dressed man. Anyway, I am not going to, I'll be here. You know, like I said, the lights won't go out. Famous last words. I am super fat-ass dragon here. What are you gonna do? It's gonna go that way. Did they fix the lighting over here? Was there any lighting? There's no lighting over here. So, once again, that's part of the... No shortcuts, Mr. Young. I was thinking, yeah, I know. Dallas can be lazy, I can't. If I wasn't getting this on camera, would I be still this dogged? Yes. The camera does motivate me to a degree. That's just one of those things I think about. Gate's wide open. What's the point of even having the gate there? I did not know that there was an apartment complex over here. Doesn't look like there's enough units, does it? But you see, it's real dark over here. Like the camera's looking at this and it's like, oh, what are you talking about? There's plenty of lighting. It's like, yeah. I see what the guy was talking about though. He is right. It is. Maybe that's what I can use to drag the point home is. Oh, let me turn my lights off. I know this thing will still catch. Like I said, it's damn you Google for making a really good camera. I turn the lights completely off. There we go. Okay, that really brings home the point. Not enough lighting in this particular area. Oh shit. Man, I never realized how much light I had just being me. Yeah, they didn't put any lighting here. This is what the guy was trying to tell me. It's too dark over here. It is too dark over here. Yes, he's right. Yeah, they need to put some street lighting over here. There's a pole, I think, or is that just a tree? There's a pole. Well, watch me go over there and all of a sudden some guy starts up his car and drives off. No, there's no pole over there, it's just a tree. Yeah, it is really bad over here. The cool thing is my GoPro has a shitty lighting system. So what I'll do is I'll turn in one that says, I was like, look, here's the GoPro footage. If Google ever makes an action cam, everybody else is out of business. Here it's well lit because parking. But this guy's parking over here. There's a street right here. I understand that it's supposed to be low speed, but there's not really anything that encourages people to drive. I mean, it's narrow. And the only reason I think they don't put any lighting over here, well, no, because the guys, you see that he's taxiing over there. It's nowhere near the airport, so there's no reason for them not to have lighting over here. That's what he was trying to tell me. I was like, oh, so what are you talking about? There's a light here, there's a light here. But there's not enough over there. Okay. No, I don't have a BLT marker because they didn't put one over there, so. Last I checked, this is BLT 130. And that's what I'll acknowledge that. In fact, I need to go take a picture. I already did take a picture. And I'll find that guy's footage and I'll stamp it on the YouTube video. And I'll say this guy brings up a valid point. he just dismissed him. It wasn't even a macho thing. It was just, I looked at him and I said, whatever. I was like, 131. Between 130 and 131, there is not enough lighting over here. Do you hear me? Do you hear me, myself, and whoever else might be watching this video? There is not enough lighting between 131 and 130. I need to turn up my volume. So what I don't like about this case that I use is every time I whip out my phone and pop it back in, it hits the volume control knob. And I think other people were saying that on the review. It doesn't bug me because I've got a 3-hour, what they call, I guess it's a chillax. You know, it's one of those chillax things that you listen to. You have to have some kind of background noise while you're doing something. And YouTube has these channels, or these videos that somebody posted. And it's just nothing but, they're actually kind of cool. It's like having a lounge on YouTube. You're in your space, you're listening to this. They got a picture on the thing of, it's like Paul Robertson rendered pixel art of, like, was it Rick and Morty, or what was the other thing he had? Futurama, stuff like that. And I know that some people look at it and they think that that's just trash, but it's like, it's got a weird, like, Andy Warhol kind of aesthetic to it. And it's just going to be one of those markers of a time that went by. You know, like this was kind of like what we were a part of. Can I do one pull-up wearing all this gear? Can I even get up there? Oh. Yep. Okay. I think I've gotten lighter. Feral cat. What's up, Whiskers? Oh, you belong to somebody. They just left you here, huh? It's a damn shame. She's not afraid of humans. Someone just dropped their fucking cat off. I said, you should do something about it. It's like, nope, don't have to. She's hungry. They've got traps all around here. There's usually groups. There's feral friends groups and different types of cat groups. They'll catch her, and then they'll spay and neuter, and or spay her, and then release her out here. Man, I'm hungry. It's time to get home. Get some beans. BLT 130. Yeah, okay. And then bam, everything's well lit. Docks. The ramp. Why is this all well lit? I guess they think that someone's gonna come out here and do some night rowing. You never know. I think the guy that was paying for all of this, that was one of his things. He wanted to be able to ride anytime you want it. Is that an egg carton? Huh. Yes. Oh, it's for Easter eggs. Okay. Well, that tells me how much how often Parks and Rec cleans that out. So that must have been when all of this happened. Yeah, it says it right there as a marker. Paskva? Feliz Paskva? Deals. Smiling Jesus. Yeah. 404.26. 405.26. No, I'm just wondering if this was organic or was this planned. See, here we are, 10 o'clock. Lights are out over the skate park. Should I get some footage of that over there? No, I'm done. We'll see it during the day. The walk path. They put all these walk paths everywhere, but they made sense. But then the walk path goes into that gate, and the gate's locked. So it's really more for, I guess, staff, or not, yeah, the city staff to go in there and drive their trucks or whatever, and golf carts. Yeah, they turn out the lights. Once again, that's all they do, is they turn out the lights. They don't close the gate. It is now 22:09. Lights are out. Still cars there. Still people walking around. Still people skating. You know, those might be solar lights. And of course the flock system's still going strong. You can see it sending back, you know, information to home base. And that's basically what they said. It's like, you trust the police, don't you? No. No, they lost that trust. In the black community, they never had it. And then, like I said, after they murdered George Floyd, pretty much lost it. You wonder how much this place would change if they had a cop walking around. Or, you know, a couple of cops riding around on bikes. Just kind of riding around Bachman, checking things out. I know one thing, if I'm going to keep doing audits, I mean, that's what I'm going to have to do, is I'm going to have to get a bike. I'm getting too old for this. I have no idea how many steps I put in so far. and I still have to go by the airport. And that's the part of Bachman I dread, because it's not. The rest of this is kind of fun and community oriented. You know, you've got the rec center, the pool, the rowing places, the little pavilions, the playgrounds. All of that side is, hey, we care about the community. We want y'all to be a part of this. We want this to be vibrant and cool. Is that a hummingbird? I think so. And then you come over in this side. And this doesn't fit in. Like, they put all of this here, but it's out of place. Before, when it was dim, it was a nice marker letting you know, hey, you're leaving the safety of the community. You are now going to the, literally, you're going to the trash area of the park. And I wonder how much of an investment they're going to do to change that. Can they change that? Yeah, they can do anything. Will they change it? It's really, they don't. Does Dallas have the will to go over here and turn this part into something? He said, I was watching your video and you were talking about wanting to put apartments over there off of Denton. I guess I should have said multifamily. There. Mixed use. There. Actually, mixed use would be a good idea. Because over there they put a CrossFit, and then over there I think they got a they've got Dallas's version of a makerspace, which they don't really advertise. But there's Dallas's version of a makerspace over there. And then you got the bank over there. Right now it's kind of being used by different industrial groups, and American Agro Products owns the property over there, and they just kind of rent it out to whoever. At least I think it's still owned by American Agro Products. I don't know. That was a lifetime ago. Here's my question. If I wanted this bad enough, who would I talk to about that flickering light? I mean, technically that is the utility complaint. Well, let's go ahead and put it in. Well, like I said, when I say literal trash, there's the dump. Ends. Trash section. I'm right here by the road, where if somebody was distracted or steers wrong, blam, no protection. Oh, but you've got this curb here. You mean that curb there? I mean this curb here? Now here's my question. If I put all of these, can I access the photos I take in Google Earth in Google Images? I don't think so. I think that they would make it two separate things. All right, time to be nitpicky. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect, that is. See, like that one's got one continuous light. If you don't fix this light, the terrorists win. It's like, where does that come from? Well, that was the whole thing that was the Bush administration. If you do, you know, the formulaic, if you do this, if you do X, Y, Z, the terrorists win. I was like, okay. All right, let's have that down. What? No, there's no. Utility complaint, flickering light by BLT 125. Yeah, but I'm hoping to catch it at least one time where it blinks out. My camera's not cooperating. It's not the camera. This thing is just flickering so fast. Man, it is so hard to get it. Oh man, we are almost 4 hours into this, and that was more than I planned. Anyway, I took pictures. I got video. Now, why does that matter? It shows that somebody's on top of things. The light's flickering like that, and it's been flickering like that for weeks. It shows that you don't know or care about what's going on in your area. So you don't want bad actors to look around and think that you don't care, you don't know what you're doing. What's to stop somebody to come in there, cutting in there, and trying to take something from the transformer station? Maybe you've got cameras there, but once again, your cameras have to sit there and try to focus while there is a flickering light. Your camera right now is changing between infrared and regular. Every time that light flickers, it's just messing it up. You want it to be consistent. Anyway, put the ticket in, see what they do. If they close it out, complain. So this is going to be a 6-week process. Are you going to see it through to the end? And I was like, Yeah, why not? Oh, there's all these remnants of like Easter eggshells and glitter eggs. I'm about to find out the hard way if this thing cuts out at 10:30. I honestly did not think, and I'm gonna stop right there. I didn't think. I started at 7:30. Oh, I'm sorry, shit. Man, I'm over here cock blocking, I'm sorry. Dude, just, you know, do the rabbit thing. Is there a special place in hell for people who cock block rabbits? Sounds like the name of a DJ. Cock block rabbit. Yeah, I have no idea what happened here. Why, when this conduit was going through... Oh, I see what happened. And it's dumb. It's really, well, no, I don't think that was why it happened. Yeah, that's exactly why it happened. So they put the post here, and then it veered out, and then they just never wanted to bend. Well, hold on. Okay, there was something here. Yeah, it ripped out. The only thing I can think is somebody took a crowbar to it. I'm not gonna say anything because it looks like it's structurally okay. It's just somebody pried out that one little part. So that part's tethered, this part's hanging down. So I'll put this marker in again. Utility complaint, dangling ground wires. Untethered ground wires. By Denton and Shorecrest. Oh, it's weird to me that every time I've gone somewhere, there's been this crew that's been following me. Hey, that's a lean dog. Okay. Man, this thing does take a very good picture. All right, well, that's enough. One more shot. I think I'm gonna put it in as a utility complaint. I've already told them about this. Yeah, that's a good idea. Put it in as a complaint. I mean, as a complaint to the complaint. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So yeah, nobody wants to sit here for 4 hours doing assessments all the time. Some people just want to enjoy the park. Why are all these June bugs sitting over here? They're disoriented. It's the lights. They fly around them and they get exhausted and then just plop down. Man, there's so many. Golly, see so many. They're over here by the light. They've just tuckered themselves out. I guess that's something to note for the environmentalists. So these guys are all part of the same. They were doing some kind of circuit. Why am I noting that? Speed limit on Surecrest is 30. And they were in well excess of that. Yeah, I told them about this wood path, the path here, and they just they just took it up. What was the original purpose of this? I don't know. I don't know if it was because it doesn't make it. I don't know. Maybe it was for blind people. Like when they felt that, they knew that something was coming up. It's kind of weird to have time to have a shift change. And then again, maybe they were just waiting for a flight to come in. Tree limbs blocking trail by BLT 121. No, I'm already very familiar with this area. All I need one picture. Let's see what happens when you look at it from the other angle. He said, well, what's the big deal? I was like, well, you're not a 6-footer. Somebody who's 6 feet tall riding a bike. Okay. Pics or it did not happen. No, I don't know what it is about me, man. I just... Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's always something. That sign looking kind of rough. Wash me, cowboy. Yeah, next week I'm just taking pictures. No more walk audit. I mean, like I said, this is taking, wow, this is, but you want to be thorough. Wait a minute, did they actually fix this? You're getting all excited. I mean, I don't remember this. On too fast, Chief. That's why the street's so fucked up. I don't remember that one being on. Sounds like somebody's... All right. With me, it's always the same thing, man. I come back over here. That's that one light. They just can't fix that one light. Is it a big deal? Yeah. Because one time I came over here and the guy was he had an open flame. He wasn't barbecuing. He had a fucking open flame. Just right next to this tree limb. And that wouldn't have happened if they had a light here to kind of dissuade people from being, you know, people seeing what he was doing. Might have to change my password after this if I accidentally caught it, because I am too lazy to. Okay. Put another marker here. There you go. Park light out next to Nancy Carolyn Point. And I always do the same thing. I take pictures of all the stuff. It's just that, man, like I said, with this Pixel camera, it catches, it's such a beautiful low light camera. I cannot stress that enough. I have never had, my last thing was a dog. I couldn't get anything. Man, so if you wanted a ringing endorsement, yeah, get you a Pixel. This is a Pixel 9a. This is supposed to be the budget phone. This is the one that people complain, well, the camera's not as good as the one on the Pixel 10 or the Pixel 9 or the Pixel 11. I was like, okay. You know, I think I can live with that. If this is not as good as the other ones, then sign me up. I was like, I'm starting to wonder what the other one can do. Does it have, like, you know, thermal mode, X-ray? It's like I can see through things. You don't understand. That's how good this phone is. Like, you won't be satisfied till your phone has a scanning electron beam on it. Just bzzz, kills, completely destroys whatever it takes a picture of, but damn it, it takes a good picture. You're over there doing selfies and all of a sudden turning into ash. No, I think I'm gonna leave that one alone. This one is just, like, I'm noticing stuff on the trail itself. Yeah, man, it's pretty depressing when you think about it. The whole reason that there's so many June bugs over here is, so I was looking at a video on YouTube and they were pointing out how what causes the bugs to attract, or maybe it was on YouTube, all I know is doing research on it, my own research, and they were saying that insects have this, they have this sensor on the back of their necks. Like wherever their wings join up, they have this sensor that's supposed to orient them by, like, the sun, or by a giant, you know, by whatever night light there is out there. And so what the artificial light does, it makes them think that the sun's out, and somehow this sensor is wired into their brains to where they fly around it. And like the animal, like the thing itself, it doesn't know what's going on. It's just sensing everything, and so he's just reacting to the light. And they fly around this light and they can't stop, and they keep going until they exhaust themselves, and then they die. Because if they get back up, they're just going to keep flying around the light. And they were pointing out this is one of the bad reasons, this is one of the bad things about artificial light. So what solution did they offer? I think they were saying they use, like, I guess it's this orange glow, that's part of the reason that maybe they want to say use blue light. But use a different polarization of light and this may mitigate the problem. Scientists don't really want to say should. It's amazing how I move a little bit in the map. That was the other thing, is the old light didn't do this. Park light out by BLT 120. Some of these descriptions are just self-explanatory. All right. Well, yeah, I reported this one before. And they did what they usually do. They tell me, oh, it's fine. Shit, I got it wrong. Oh, okay. My apologies, City of Dallas. You did do what you were supposed to do. It's I who have erred. Because the one by 120 was out, and now this is the one on 19. It's out. Okay. Well, good to know. I got one more to get. I got two more. I know there's two more sticking points. Damn it, I'm not gonna get to them. 'Cause this one's out too. Nah, this is my own damn fault. Light out between BLT 119 and BLT 118. You didn't say park light. You know what? I'll fix it later. The important thing is I got a marker that tells me, hey, I'll go through this later and touch it up, and I just don't have time to take pictures. Because there's two more lights that I know are out, and I'm not gonna make it. Holy shit, I did not plan on spending 4 hours out here. Oh my god, this one's even worse. I guess I could step on them, they're gonna be dead anyway. And all this time we call Junebug stupid, we're like... It is something like that, but at the same time they are wired. They aren't wired for the modern era. This is a creature that stays in the ground for like 17, 18 years. Comes up, turns into an adult, has to mate before they die, and then oh, what gets to me is I think I hear kids laughing. And it's damn near, you know, like I said, it's 11 o'clock at night. 15 till. Ah, this is gonna irk me. You hear all the different creatures frolicking around. I think these are supposed to be wildflowers. Anyway, this is all stuff I'm taking in the dark, so it'll look different when I get some daytime footage. Oh, the gate's open. All right, this is one thing I'm not going to catch on camera. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to take some pictures of the interior here to see. Anybody in here? Okay, so this light's always out. All right. All right, so are we trading anything? Yep, okay, cool. Okay, so I'm not gonna get in time, but let's go ahead and get started on the assessment here. So I went into the bathroom, did what I had to do, but the urinal doesn't flush, toilet does flush, and as you can see, the sink doesn't really run that well. I guess they've turned it down. But if I go to the women's side, and I hope somebody didn't just come running up in there just now. Like I said, I'm in a red state, so. He was trying to go into the women's bathroom. He's one of them transgenders. So I come in here, and you got the somebody done tore out or unplugged so the sink don't work here for the ladies, and toilet doesn't flush. And of course you see somebody had bad aim. So yeah, and then there's this drain pipe issue, some kind of water leak. This has always been going on. It's just going underneath there and goes out here. But yeah, the men's bathroom is better than the women. That rarely happens, but you know, only in Dallas, only in this section. So, something to note. Okay. It's 3 minutes till. And there are two spots that I'm not gonna get, but I wanna get. These are the bathrooms over by 118. I think they fixed it. I kept complaining about this one. I think they finally fixed it. There was a light over here by one of those stations that I couldn't get to. Anyway, yeah, it looks like it's fixed. So, it was that light right there. Yeah, they fixed it. They just can't fix this other one with the ballast. Oh, I didn't think I was gonna be here till closing. God damn it, I was here when it started. And now I'm here at 11 o'clock at night. I did not want to be here at 11 o'clock at night. I wanted to be at home by 8, 9. They're gonna turn the lights out on y'all, so be careful.
Okay.
They're on their way to the they're on their way to the parking lot, hopefully. But it does ask a very interesting question. How do you close a park? In Dallas, they turn the lights off. In 1 minute. I'm not gonna get to it. Oh, they fixed the light on Reeves. Put in 2 tickets about that. Yep, all right. I keep thinking like the guy from Airplane, where it's just like the devious little guy pulls the plug and it starts laughing. Yep, there we go. Start putting in a complaint. Hey, plane landing out after 11. It's not after 11, it's at 11. But yeah, that light keeps going out. All right, so, you know, I'm starting to think that maybe these things are solar powered and they just go out whenever they want to. Or not when they want to, they go out whenever there's no more juice. But these lights are still on. So does this mean that somebody controls this? Okay, so I got what I needed. There are two lights that are out, and I got those two. And they're the same lights. No, they're different lights. No, I think they're the same lights. It's just that what I did was I reported an anthill by 120. And then the lights were over out by 119. I'm walking faster. And I've been talking for 4 hours. Normally I don't say anything at all. There we go. Okay, well. 2301. So next week, with my 360 camera, I guess I'll get a picture of this other half that I didn't get. Should they just turn it off like that? No, they should. It should be like a flicker and then out. Or, you know, you've got, and they aren't going to sit there and say, the park is now closed. Four hours. What's up, Moko? Kind of funny, but it's not, you know. So what do you think happened? I think they parked their car over there, got their dogs out, and they got caught out here while the lights went out. Alright, so now I'm going to start getting hit by everything because I am the only source of light around here. Whew. Are you tired? No. I mean, yeah, I'm tired. It's just, you gotta understand, I walked 26 miles during the pandemic. There was a walk marathon. This is I know my limits. I know that after 15 miles, I start to wear out pretty good. And so after the 15th mile, I have to dig deep. I feel nostalgic for that, though. It's not the pandemic anymore. I can't do that. I especially couldn't do it. I was like, you see the videos. I was walking up Marsh, and those people were just looking at me like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" As I'm walking against traffic in the right lane. You've seen it when I go to the makerspace, going down Denton. People looking incredulously at me like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm doing what the state of Texas says I can do. Going against the grain of traffic, holding ownership of the lane, and making myself highly visible. All right, so the next thing I'll probably do next week, I'll go up Shorecrest, hook back around. I'm trying to figure out why they took out the post. They had the post with the lock. You know what? Let's ask. Vehicle blocking post missing. Location by BLT 105. That's not what I actually had. That's not the actual marker. I got a perfect picture that time. Oh yeah, it's one of the great mysteries. You're walking down here and you see 113 back there. And think this is 109. Nope, it says 112. So that's 112. And then you go down there and I think that's like 109 or something like that. And then you go back. So it's like I said, it's weird. It goes this way, you go that, and then it goes up here and loops out over here and makes that part of it. And so they need to redo the markers. Anyway, we're missing one. I keep wanting to do my 7-mile route so I can figure out which marker it is. Anyway, for another time. So yeah, thank you, City of Dallas. I put in a ticket with Public Works about getting this fixed, and they closed out the ticket. It was here. They said, oh no, the parks department is supposed to take care of this. And I was like, no, that's total bullshit. And so they gave it to Parks. Parks says, what did Parks say? They said, we took care of it. And then closed it out. And so I will be putting in a complaint. Let's go ahead and mark it down. Not for the audit, but just for my own personal. Buried sidewalk along 3710 West Northwest Highway. .3710 West Northwest Highway, buried sidewalk location, period. Hey, you're getting kind of good at that. I was like, yeah, I know. So someday in 2027, I will come out here with my shoveling kit, and I will slowly start to uncover this. Anyway, they told me they took care of it. They didn't take care of it, so I will. Karen's about to go out on a rampage. It's like, who's Karen? I'm fucking Karen. I just don't get. You can see it just buried right here. It's gonna be a long process. And for all I know, it could be all the way out to the curb. Like this whole section might just be concrete. I don't know. That's gonna be part of the fun. Ah, the smell of French fries. All right. Walk audit complete. That was my last bit of
Wait.
part of me wants to take a picture of So if I keep going that way, is there a new homeless encampment starting out over there? I guess we'll find out. Overwatering. Yep. You know what amazes me, and the whole time I've been out here, I've been listening to the same, almost the same soundtrack. When I started out, I was listening to Gene Chandler, Rainbow 66. And then it kind of segued into this. I think it just went straight into this. And it said that this was a 3-hour lo-fi video. And like people said, you know, people trash lo-fi videos, but if it wasn't for the lo-fi video, I never would have got to listen to Bernie Sanders' filibuster. His, I think it was 8 hours. I listened to that whole damn thing. I was like, okay. I tried listening to Hakeem Jeffries when he wasn't going anywhere. Bernie Sanders had a nice bit of theater to it. It made you mad. Gave you a bunch of facts. And he had Mary Landrieu help him out. And then he had, I think, the senator from Ohio was Sherwood Brown. Sherwood Brown, he had Sherwood Brown help him out. I don't even know who these, I knew who Mary Landrieu was. I didn't know who Sherwood Brown was. Or Sherwood Brown. Sherwood Brown. Why do I remember Mary Landrieu? I saw her, for some reason they always show her file photo from like the 80s when she first got into Congress. Man, she was pretty. She was so cute. I don't know if she retired from Congress or got voted out. She was one of the last Democrats from that state. Probably a leftover Dixie. Her dad was like a mayor of a town or something. So that's how she was able to get that district. But almost a remnant of the Dixiecrats. But no, she wasn't about segregation, or I don't know. Well, you know what? I really don't know, actually. For all I know, she might have been trying to keep that old garden place. Anyway, this is a hazard. It's just jutting out, cut out there, sticking out of the ground. You can see somebody hit it and kind of kissed it a little bit. And you try to make that slip into here, and sometimes you're trying to beat people from making a turn, or you're trying to beat that over there. I'm surprised there isn't more accidents over here. Or there aren't more accidents over here. Speak English! Okay. No, I was just thinking about that line from, what was it? God, it wasn't Drop Dead Gorgeous. And the girl was adopted by an Asian family. and her stepsister was coming through there. She was speaking Japanese or Chinese, I can't remember. And the dad got all mad. Speak English! You know what, that movie? That movie was wrong. You could not make that movie today. It is. I looked at that whole thing, it was just wrong. It was Denise Richards dancing with Jesus on the cross. Kirsten, Ellen Barkin. They got something happened where the trailer exploded and her hand got fused to the beer can. And she was in there and they were getting ready to cut her hand off. And then one of the last things she does was, with her burnt up hand, is start smacking her daughter, Kirsten Dunst, upside the head because she was talking about she was going to drop out of the pageant. No, you're not going to drop out of the pageant. No, you're not. What are you talking about? Sidewalk to nowhere. Remnants of a bygone era. What do you think might have happened? They might have put this originally in back in the 80s, when this was Zach's and all that other stuff, when it was the Bachman villa. This might have had a sidewalk originally, and then the guy who came in here just tore it all out. We'll never know. Pardon me, senor. He really wants that chicken. Okay. What is? Oh, that's a rag hanging off of there. I couldn't figure out. I thought that was. It's like some kind of hitch. Wow. I really got gouged out. Is that a Jetta? This is a Jetta.